Questions. All right, my name is Kendra Aris. I am a independent beauty guide with LimeLight by Alcone, and today I'm talking to Todd Johnson, who is the inventor of our magic oil that we're getting in our line here coming in the fall. And we had a lot of questions in our group on Facebook about what this oil is all about and what does it do. So we wanted to do a little video to showcase that. So do you want to share a little bit about the history of this oil and how you got into the beauty industry?
Yeah, so hi everyone, I'm Todd, and the oil has kind of a long, strange story, and I'll be brief. So I had a great uncle who told me stories about the Depression here in southern Iowa, where they would go out and find hedge apples, hedge balls, Osage oranges, and they would cut them open, rub them on wounds, and it had medicinal properties. So he was convinced that there was something in there. Fast forward that to the 1990s while I'm in grad school, earning my PhD in chemistry, and he came to me and said, Todd, I want you to isolate these compounds. I think we can cure things with it. I'm like, right, Don, I haven't got time to do this crap. I'm newly married, and I'm in grad school working 100 hours a week being a lab rat. So. But the thought never left my mind, and now fast forward another 25 years, and after spending a nice chunk of my professional career in the pharmaceutical industry, my wife and I and our family relocated back to Iowa, and we wanted to start up a company in southern Iowa to try to bring some manufacturing. We had experience in pharmaceuticals. We knew that that was a long and risky investment, so we set out to kind of get into consumer health nutraceuticals, and kind of job one was to find a local nutraceutical botanical that nobody had ever thought of. So started doing some research, and
your uncle started talking to you.
Yeah, he started talking to me. Uncle Don started talking to me, and there've been a lot of scientific study, really good, peer-reviewed, independently reviewed, non-biased, that showed that pharmaceutical companies had looked at, in fact, the extract from a hedge ball and found that it had many great properties, as good for anti-inflammatory as aspirin, as good as penicillin for microbial treatments, as good as the active ingredient in tinactin for athlete's foot, and et cetera, great antioxidant. And a lot of really solid science, but nobody had ever converted that into a product. Then the other thing was, that was part of the extract. We also knew that we needed an oil, and it dawned on me that we knew that there was nothing nutritional in a hedge apple, but if you're local to the Midwest, you know that squirrels and deer will smash these things for some reason, and it just looks like a massacre. But they're picking out the seeds, and that's why I made the connection that anything that an animal will eat has a high quality oil in it. And in fact, then we started isolating seeds and isolating the oil, and that was the beginning of Pomifera. And so it's a really great story because we're meeting a lot of objectives. We think we have something really unique. We're buying local crops from local farmers. We control the whole process. It's very green, negative carbon footprint, and we're growing a company in southern Iowa. So we're really happy to be talking about this.
It's pretty exciting. And if you don't know, Todd really started getting his product into hair products. And if you go to his website, which is pomifera.com.
Yep, www.pomifera.com.
And that's Pomifera.
Pomifera. Yes.
I can say it or I can spell it when I type it. If you go to their website, you can check out all their hair products, and which is how I got involved with Todd, because I'm also the women's hairstyles expert for About.com, and I do a lot of reviews on hair products. So I went and reviewed his hair products, and I just kept saying about this gold oil that he had, why isn't this in skincare? It should be. It would make sense. And he said, well, I don't know, I haven't got that far yet.
But remember what I told you. I know it's a great skincare product. I don't know what to do with it. I need somebody to help me.
Right. And so who knew that just shortly thereafter I would meet Michelle Gay from LimeLight by Alcone and from Alcone Company, and would happen to just make that connection, and so the rest is writing history as we speak. So now getting to the nitty-gritty of this, we want to find out all of these women that have went to the
summit.
Went to the summit in New York City, got to try this oil, and they're all very excited about it. So they all have questions. So that's why we're here today, and I want to get those questions asked. So I'm going to start with, we've kind of talked about some of its uses in hair care, but let's talk about the ingredients. What's in this oil?
So it's literally 100% natural and pure. So we physically isolate the seeds, and then we use a cold press technique that does not involve chemicals, where we literally just squeeze the oil out of the seeds, and then we do a water purification, and
that's it.
That's Pomifera oil.
That's it. So the ingredient list is
one ingredient.
And if you're wondering, the seeds look and are about the size of a sunflower seed. They look very similar to a sunflower seed. The biggest question that we have about the skincare is the SPF. We know that there's not a current SPF associated because there's currently going to be a trial for that?
That's right. So looking at the color and some of the analytical measurements we've made on it, when I spoke with Michelle about this, we estimated that the SPF could be somewhere between 4 and 15. And as a scientist, I'm always cautious. But we have a lot of empirical evidence. Your recent RAGBRAI Facebook, some other comments have come in, and we've known this for a while. We've been using a lot of Pomifera oil locally in my house and friends and family. And so ultimately we're conducting a study right now. It's actually starting this week.
Awesome.
And we should have that number that we can put on the label by the middle of August.
Awesome. Wow, so, that's fast.
Yep.
And as we know, in the skincare industry, SPF is huge. Most traditional SPF products are going to have, it's okay. They're going to have a lot of chemicals associated with it. So we're, being a chemical-free skincare line, that's huge. So we're very excited to hear how all of that goes about. Lynn wanted to know, does this product need to be kept below a certain temperature to maintain its efficiency?
No, actually it's kind of ironic. Because of the nature of the oil, it's actually better if you store it at room temperature, and heat doesn't appear to affect it much. However, if you freeze it, it tends, because it's a natural product and it has a lot of components that are called emollients, which gives it that really unique feel. They tend to try to separate out if you get it too cold. So our recommendation is just keep it out of direct sunlight as much as possible, and just keep it at natural, normal room temperature.
Nothing really affects it. It's now I know the chemical makeup of the oil itself is unique because of the molecular structure of the oil. Explain how that affects skincare in particular. Why is that small molecule going to help?
Yeah, so it's two things. So the average molecular weight of the oil is important because that's what gives the feel. So it's that nice lightweight feel, but because of the distribution of that molecular weight is what gives it the really unique properties that we believe that actually carries kind of across the dermis, and you get that deep penetration moisturizing effect. The important part of that is because of the natural, if you will, components that have the antioxidant, antimicrobial, the healthy benefits that are in there. It's the molecular weight of the oil that helps transport that then to actually, we think, is going to show to give some beneficial regenerative properties for skincare.
So in terms of layman's terms, you're talking about it's not going to sit on top of your skin, it's going to be able to penetrate your skin.
That's right, and that's why it doesn't have that heavy, greasy after feel.
Cold moisture, instantly absorb, and hopefully with further testing learn that it's going to help regenerate skin cells and help strengthen them to in turn help with fine lines and wrinkles and inflammation.
That's right, and to the point on inflammation, we're considering a study. It's a fancy term for sunburn, but it's Erythemic is the Latin, that's for red or swollen. And we're actually going to probably look at, after you get a sunburn, if you happen to not put your Pomifera oil on, whether or not it would have healative properties to the skin. And we know from an anecdotal point of view that we see a lot of beneficial reparative just from some of the stories that we've read on Fempire, but also then we just know from people we've handed it to that I'm sure we're going to talk about here.
And the oil itself, I like to use the word catalyst. It makes sense to me. But when you use it in conjunction with your serums and things like that, because of this ability to penetrate your skin, it actually helps kind of drive some of those ingredients into your skin as well. Do I understand that correct?
Yeah, we believe that's the case. In fact, people who are into massage therapy and essential oils do actually use Pomifera oil, which I believe is essential oil, but it's not worth the focus of really going down that path trying to make those claims. But they use it to actually carry the commonly accepted essential oils to try to improve the effectiveness of those essential oils. So it really demonstrates its carrier capability.
Cool. Michelle wanted to know is there a shelf life or allergies that could be associated with the oil?
So the shelf life is still ongoing. Those of you who received the samples at Summit, that oil was 2 years old. I sent you the worst oil. And so from a shelf life point of view, the shelf life is really not a concern. It's a really stable oil. What was the second part of that question?
The second part was, are there any allergies associated as far as nut allergies, tree nut allergies, anything people should be concerned?
So allergies are always difficult and very expensive to determine. And so what we recommend is if you've had a seed oil allergy, this is a seed oil, so proceed with caution. But I would also say, as I do anytime I hand the pure oil or any of our hair care products to people, if you know that you've had allergic reactions to products in the past, start gently, around the wrist.
Use a little test spot.
Exactly.
And I think that's just good advice all the way around. If you've had sensitivities or allergies in the past, then that's what you need to probably do.
What we know is, though, that we've had thousands of people put this on their skin. And then also the hair care product is tens of thousands, and we've only had one reported allergic reaction.
Awesome. So. Well, there's always going to be somebody, and things are certainly not one size fits all, but that's good information to know. As far as some people wanted to know a list of conditions it's known to help, and I know that the research is still new on this, but can you just tell me from your experience and things that you've heard from other people what this oil has helped?
Yeah, so the big ones are the things that really have no well-established FDA-approved treatments. So things like psoriasis, eczema, contact dermatitis, those type of hugely inflammatory diseases, we see that Pomifera oil really helps alleviate, and in some cases really almost eliminates those conditions. And these are cases that range from moderate to severe. No way are we claiming that this is a curative option for anybody, because obviously it doesn't have an FDA approval, but we do believe that it's a real effect because we get the letters from people. And I think it helps in two ways. One, I think the oil is amazing from the point of view that it's really moisturizing, and so that really dead, rough skin in those conditions tends to soften and repair, which then allows the body to maybe get on top of the really affected area.
It completely makes sense, and we're kind of on the cusp of this really making headway in our industry and with LimeLight by Alcone, and I personally think we're very lucky to have this opportunity to be the first people to share this oil as a legitimate skincare product.
Well, I think we're lucky to be partnered with you, because I had something that I truly believed in, but I had no idea what to do with it. So I think the other things that we find that there's good application for. number of people have treated a lot of cuts and scrapes with it,
right,
which is good. So that's kind of the antimicrobial side of it. Some burns. We've had some people have some success with some pretty nasty burns, and much like an aloe vera type strategy.
Athlete's foot?
Athlete's foot. Actually, for those of you out there, the magic ratio for athlete's foot, as we know it, is 2 parts Pomifera oil, 1 part tea tree oil.
Okay.
So
we've had people report poison oak and poison ivy.
Cold sore, which
cold
is amazing
sores,
to me.
yeah.
That's incredible.
If you've got a cold sore, you know those things fester forever.
They do. And I suffer from them. Unfortunately, I don't have one today.
Oh, good. Yeah, it's I'm really excited with all these things. Any notice of it helping cystic acne? Have you had any issues?
Yeah, so we've had a few reports of that, and what is the term, rosacea?
Yeah, the redness. Yeah,
yeah.
With inflammation, rosacea is typically just inflammation.
Exactly. So again, the high inflammatory capacity of Pomifera oil, I mean, that makes sense to me. So again, different severity, different cases, you know, but we've had more success than rather failure when we've handled this to people. So
it's really great information, and I think that I've answered all the questions that people have had in my list of questions. The only ones that I don't think we answered are specific questions about UVA and UVB protection, which sounds like it's coming soon, and we'll have answers for that later in the month.
There's actually a good scientific study, actually of all places, done in Israel. I didn't realize that there were some Osage oranges over there, but the University of Israel published a study on the oil where they looked at some of the UVA and UVB properties, and they look very encouraging. So good. I think that's why we're seeing success with kind of this sunscreen.
And he mentioned earlier, I personally put the sunscreen or put the oil on my face and then went out in the sun riding bicycle for 40 miles and didn't reapply all day long, and I am definitely living proof that there was no sunburn. I had a pretty nasty sunburn on my arm that I didn't put the oil on my arm, and so it really spoke to the at least to the UVB protection with the burning rays. So I was really grateful for that I didn't. I mean, my nose could have been on fire. It'd be peeling now if that was the case. So I think I will wrap this one up. Do you have anything else you'd like to share? Is there anything you can think of?
No, I'm real excited. It's really been inspirational for all the great comments, and I love how you've all just kind of embraced this and put it on everything, because we had some of that data in-house, but we haven't seen a lot of people just take it and go with it.
Across the country, all of these women doing different things with it and finding success is really encouraging.
Yeah, and that's really what you want. I mean, so, you know, we don't take any credit. We were just lucky enough to look at it. And
Uncle Don, right?
Uncle Don, yep. So
that's a great story. All right, well, I'm going to wrap this one up, and I will have this posted as soon as possible.